All right, perfect. Hello, everybody. This is going to be the first episode of hopefully a series that I'm going to call Laurel Lessons, where I interview or talk to different Laurels and they kind of teach us stuff either about kind of generally how we do A&S in the SCA. Like today, we're talking about research or kind of whatever we decide people want to learn and the Laurels want to teach. So I'm Revna, the social media officer for North Shield, and today I have Sibilia with me. If you want to introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Madame Sibillia. I am a research nerd. I mostly make and wear later period garb. I've done earlier period too, but
Mhm.
yeah, but mostly I'm known for being a research nerd.
Which is great because that's what we're kind of here to talk about. We're kind of working more on demystifying competing in A&S, and research can be a
Yeah,
big kind of barrier for people. We're here to try to make it less scary, hopefully.
yep. Oh, and I should also disclose that I am the Deputy A&S Minister for
Yeah.
Competition. I actually have an official job.
Nice. So she wants you to compete in
I want
A&S.
you to compete in A&S.
Yes, so we're trying to make it less scary. And I know the research is the part that scares me personally a lot.
You're not alone. Um,
Um, yeah.
It's scary. I mean, it kind of like if you're not used to doing it, well, even if you're used to doing it, because I'm used to doing it and I'm writing a research paper for work right now,
Yeah.
and it's a little scary.
Hmm.
Um, not gonna lie. Um, but you shouldn't, it's fine. It'll be fine. Everyone, generally, if you're writing a research thing, everyone wants you to succeed and they want you to tell them kind of
Hmm.
what you're talking about, right?
Yeah.
There's very few times that I've like, in fact, I don't think there's a single time I've been like, I don't want to. Hi, Reggie.
Oh, special
Um,
visitor.
Reggie is a research cat. No, she's not. Um, you know, people want to see you succeed. They want to learn what you're writing about. They want to learn, they want to read what you've read or what
Hmm.
you've written because you know probably more than them about something. Um, Especially in the SCA. There are very few people who are have a deep dive on enough things that they're willing to go super nitpicky. And
Hmm.
generally when that happens, like generally the people who are in charge of figuring out who's going to judge you are going to try to not help
Hmm.
you not experience that.
For sure.
Because that's not fun. And that's not really what this is about. So yeah, but research is scary to do because you're putting your ideas and your work out for other people to read, and that's always a little
Hmm.
intimidating,
Yeah, for sure.
and I get it. It's fine.
Yeah. So, kind of getting into the research aspect, the first kind of question I had is how, when you're choosing a project, how specific should you be with your project in terms of like scope? So, if I'm trying to do like my first A&S competition, how specific of a thing should I try to do?
All right, so I'm going to give you the first off, I'm going to give you the trite and slightly unhelpful answer that I heard from a faculty member at a place where I worked, which was a student asked her how long the paper be, and she's like,
Mhm.
it should be like a mini skirt. Should be long enough to cover the subject, but short enough to keep everyone's attention.
Yep.
And I've never forgotten that. It is slightly inappropriate to say, but it is also not untrue.
Hmm.
So a lot of that comes down to like, what are you doing?
Hmm.
Right? Like if I am talking about an entire outfit, like I am gonna go through everything on this outfit. I'm gonna go like hooks and eyes, buttons, all that. I'm gonna get super nitty-gritty and into the details.
Hmm.
And I'll probably get down to the point where, I mean, you'll see some people be like, oh, and this is how you draw a wire so you can make a hook and eye. You generally don't have to do that. You
Yeah.
can if you want.
Hmm.
I'm not here to stop you,
Hmm.
but you don't have to. Really, a lot of, I think Laurel's get a really bad rap for sometimes being a little bit too much like, ah, you did not research
Little
deep enough.
nitpicky.
And at like really high levels, like war championship points and stuff,
Hmm.
you're gonna see a lot more of that.
Yeah.
Um, you're also not going to be judged by people from your kingdom.
Hmm.
So that's the other thing. But you want to be able to cover it and be able to talk about it. So like, hey, if you're talking about I made a hood, right?
Hmm.
I made a hood. Here's what we know about hoods made in this time period. This is the kind of fabric I chose. Here's the evidence of the kind of fabrics that are available. Here's the evidence of the kind of like dyes that were available. Here's the construction methods I use,
Hmm.
and for a lot of our stuff, we can say, oh, I used a sewing machine for the
Hmm.
teams,
Yeah.
unless you decide to go completely hardcore
Yeah.
and hand sew everything, which I'm doing currently
Nice.
because I my sewing machine's broken.
Oh no. Well, that's
Not my
one way to get you
choice.
to hand so.
My choice. Yeah, but it really depends on the level you're going to be at. For the most part, I'm going to say like you want to be aware of how things were done in period,
Hmm.
even if you don't use period techniques. You want to be aware of the context
Hmm.
of what you have. So like if you are like the Norse hood you're wearing right now,
Hmm.
right? You want to know like, okay, what dyes are available in the location where this hood was found?
Hmm.
Like just general colors. And usually there's gradations within that color set, just based on which dye load it is. You want to be able to say stuff like that. You want to
Hmm.
say, oh yeah, this was worn here. We know that there are similar ones that we found here and here. This seems to be a common pattern. Here's what we've seen with other things. And just kind of like, this is kind of where this be able to know about kind of the context of
Okay.
like an object that you've made. I'm picking on
Hmm.
your hood because I'm looking at
Yeah.
it.
That's fair.
Your hood's beautiful. I'm just like, I'm picking on it because you're wearing it. And I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, yeah. Um, you want to be able to like know things.
Hmm.
And one nice thing about North Shield is that we do in-person judging
Hmm.
if you want to, and we can pull you off to the side. You can do not in-person judging if you want. I personally prefer doing in-person
Hmm.
judging and being judged in person. Um, because you can answer questions and ask questions
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
kind of geek
'cause
out with somebody a little bit about their
yeah.
stuff. And that's really fun for me.
Yeah.
I love geeking out with people. Um, And that's kind of what I like to do.
Hmm.
If you need accommodations for something else, we can absolutely do that.
Hmm.
It's just the tradition or shield is face-to-face judging.
Yeah.
Um, it doesn't have to be that way for everybody,
Hmm.
but I personally prefer it. I would suggest people give it a try.
Hmm.
Not that bad. You don't have to speak in front of a lot of people. It's just two people usually,
Hmm.
and you talking about your research.
Yeah, kind of a nerd out session.
Yeah, you get a solid 45 to 50 minutes to
Hmm.
completely geek out with somebody else, with other people, and they can't leave.
They're stuck.
Mhm.
They're trapped.
They're kind of trapped. Like answer their questions, don't talk
Mhm.
over them or
Yeah.
anything. Be polite. But yeah, they are functionally, they have signed up to listen to you for 45 minutes. So have fun.
Yeah.
Geek out on them. You know the most about your projects
Hmm.
is really
For
the key.
sure. Yeah.
Um, and like with anything in history, you can always just dig deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper on everything. You don't
Hmm.
have to. Um, I don't for the hood example, I don't need to know necessarily about the trade routes
Hmm.
between point A, point B, point C, and point D to know about your hood, right? If you want to
Yeah.
mention it, cool. Bring it up and be like, yeah, I just thought it was an interesting
Hmm.
fact. You don't have to know details beyond that. And be like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
That is an interesting fact.
Hmm. Yeah. So I don't need to be like, this is the exact dye that used, and this is how the material got there, and this
Not,
is the weaving technique that was
yeah,
used in the.
yeah, not necessarily. I mean,
But it's cool if you do.
it's cool to do, and it's sometimes kind of fun to
Yeah.
figure out. You don't have to weave your own fabric from flax
Hmm.
that you grew yourself. You don't have to have a sheep that you sheared and turned into wool. You can buy things.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, it's really whatever you want to make of it.
hmm
And, once you get to higher levels, they're going to ask for a little bit more
Yeah.
in-depth stuff. They'll want you to do more period techniques using period tools, or at least an acknowledgement that you understand what the period tools are
hmm
and how to use them. You just chose not to
Yeah.
because it's it doesn't make sense for you, you know?
hmm
Not everyone can, grow their own flax.
Yeah. Yeah, so like a general idea of like what material is being used and like what was available at the time, and then
Yes.
some type of knowledge of the techniques that was used at the time is kind of what I'm hearing kind of as the baseline.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's usually what we see for most of the projects.
hmm Yeah, and then if you really want to nerd out, you can look
Oh
at all the
gosh,
other stuff.
if you really want to nerd out, I'm your gal.
The
Oh,
deep research.
that
Oh, we
deep.
don't need to have everything be like
No,
the big
no, you don't.
scoping project. Yeah.
Not everyone has to be me. It's probably better that more people are not me.
More Sibillias.
Ooh, that's terrifying. But yeah.
Cool. All right. And then the next one is kind of similar, kind of how much research do I need? So like if I'm writing a paper, like how long should that be? And then like what type of sources should I use and what type of
Yeah.
sources should I not use?
So as far as how long it should be, as long as it needs to be to cover the subject, you know?
What's like like the estimated like range? Like what's a
Generally,
shorter research one and then like a longer research one?
so generally, if you are writing something that's more than 10 pages for an A&S competition,
hmm
we ask that you send it in advance so our judges can read it. So anything before that, anything more than that, you should send it in at least a week to a week
hmm
to 2 weeks before the competition date. Just so I can go and assign your judges, I can make sure they have a copy of your
hmm
paper, everything is great. And then they can have pre-read your paper and then just have then they can talk to you about the questions that they have. Um, Once you get into the 20 and 30, like, I mean, if you have pictures, you get a little bit more
Yeah.
leeway on this, but yeah, once you get kind of above 30 pages, I start questioning my sanity. Um, and once I start writing more than 30 pages, I start questioning my sanity a little bit.
Fair enough.
Um, I mean, I've done it. Uh,
Yeah.
but like at some point you just go, this really probably should be like a book.
Yeah. So it's more like comparing it to college classes, since I just
Yeah.
graduated, it's more like I'm writing it for like a 100 to 300 level class. It's not like
Yes.
my big capstone paper that's
No,
supposed to be
it does
30
not
pages
have to be
long.
your capstone paper. It can be if you want, but
Yeah,
it
like if
doesn't
it's
have to
a
be.
longer term project, but
Yeah.
for like the average A&S project, like,
Yeah. So like I think the paper I brought to Gulf Wars was 25
hmm
without the appendices.
Yeah, and that was like a
Um,
research like
yeah, that
based.
was a super heavy duty research
Yeah.
paper. With the appendices, it was
hmm
probably closer to like 50 or 60,
Whew.
including the data set.
hmm
But I also had to print the data set like super.
Yeah. And that was for like a research
Yeah, that was a
A&S
research
project.
A&S
Yeah.
project for a war, for a
Yes.
major SCA war.
So
So
that's like
that
the
is
big war leagues. Yeah.
that the bar there is different. But I
Yeah, so
mean,
if
still,
I'm
at the end of that point, I was kind of like, all right, I'm just
yeah.
gonna put this away.
But if I'm entering like my first A&S,
If
it's
you're
like
entering
three
your
to
first
five pages, like
3 to 5 pages, if you've got pictures,
hmm
throw them in. It'll get longer if you got pictures.
hmm
Just saying. If you're worried about your page count, photographs um, is always a great option.
Yeah, and then I know a lot of people do like kind of process pictures too. Are those
Yeah.
good to include like in
Yes. That's
your
always
write-up?
great.
Yeah.
That's always great to include. And it's always good to do. So that way later when you take the whatever you made out again, you can go, oh,
Yeah. I think they're cool to
I
look at too when I'm
yeah.
viewing
Sometimes
A&S
you're
ones.
like
I like seeing
you're like,
the process too.
and I'm really bad at taking process pictures. So
Yeah.
I'm like, if anyone has a better idea on why and how, like how to take, remind yourself to take process pictures, I'm here to
hmm
learn. I have never been good at it. And
hmm
so I end up often like looking at the interiors of things that I've made before as I like fix them and go, what was I thinking? What's going on here? Why,
Yeah.
like, which is always a fun thing. You're like, I have no memory of this place.
Oh yeah. So remember to take those process pictures.
Yeah, remember to take your process pictures. Don't be like me. Take your process pictures.
Yeah, because they're not like necessary, are they? Or they're
They're
just like
not
a
required, but they are
yeah,
nice.
yeah.
Especially if there's like a technique that you're teaching yourself or that
hmm
you've taught that you've learned and you take pictures of the process. Judges love that.
Yeah. Yeah, and if you're interested in more for the viewers, if you're interested in more like in depth about the judging, you can look at the video with Ithne and Patronella that we
Yeah.
uploaded a bit ago about more of the specific judging process too.
Yeah.
So then in terms of research, where's a good place to look for resources and like what type of sources are we looking for?
All right, I'm going to start with what kind of types of resources you're
hmm
looking for. You're looking for resources, especially at the beginning of a project, that have citations. Because what you're going to do is you're going to use those citations to find more information. Um, I love Wikipedia. Holy crap, I love Wikipedia. Because if you read or understand another language, you can always go over to their Wikipedia and read what they have, even if you have to use a dictionary to find
hmm
out what certain words mean. You've now increased your knowledge of your language and you've learned new things because some of the English Wikipedia articles aren't very good um, compared to the ones that are in their native language. And that's always fun. Also, Wikipedia cites its sources. So if you read something on Wikipedia and you're like, okay, weird, you can go see where it came from. So anytime you can find a citation, like even if it's not an official like inline citation or
hmm
endnote or footnote or whatever, even if someone's just like, I read this book and they said blah.
hmm
Well, cool. You have a citation. You should hunt down that book. Um, and that will get you a lot more resources.
hmm
All research. Who was it that said this? I don't remember. Some very famous scientist said this is all research is about we stand on the shoulders of giants. All research is based off of other people's research,
hmm
right? So like reading what other people have written on a topic helps you get to those
Yeah.
sources. The other really cool thing is checking out literally any major library in Europe or your chosen country, or sometimes that's more difficult than others.
Yeah.
Russian sources are in Eastern European sources still really hard to get.
hmm
Um, Chinese sources sometimes hard to get if you don't read the language
Yeah.
or you don't know what you're looking for.
hmm
Um, I've had really good luck with resources like Europeana, the Met Museum in the United States. What else? There's a whole bunch of just check out museum and National Library
Yeah.
websites.
hmm
The Library of Congress has a lot of cool stuff from a lot of places. It's very awesome. Um, the Hague in the Netherlands also has lots of cool stuff, has digitized a lot of their stuff. The Germans love to scan things. I sent their metadata team a thank you note once.
Nice.
Because I was like, I understand you guys aren't like the shiny people on,
Yeah.
but I'm just saying the metadata, beautiful.
Nice.
Bravo. The National Library of France is my favorite. My persona is French, so of course I
Mhm.
love it. And I read French, so
Yep.
of course I love it. Um, I really like I really like how they filter things
Hmm.
on their site. It's a little old looking now, but the filters work really well. The whole system works well.
Hmm.
So, but honestly, check sources. Check your sources.
Hmm.
Um, I'm always gonna say just like don't cite Wikipedia, use Wikipedia.
Yeah.
Wikipedia is a
Use it to find
tool.
the citations.
Yeah,
Yeah.
use it to find the citations.
Hmm.
And sometimes they're good for like a gut check.
Hmm. Yeah.
Like sometimes you're like, I don't, you like read something in an article and you're like, that seems weird.
Yeah.
And then you're like, well, I don't know a lot about this. So you go
Hmm.
off and you go find the Wikipedia page and you read, you're like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
that is weird. Because if Wikipedia, generally, especially for like non-controversial historical topics,
Yeah.
is not going to be the place where people are messing around with it.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, and I
Um,
feel like a good amount of A&S stuff is not super
yeah, I'm just saying
controversial.
there's not a lot of people arguing about the French wars of religion anymore.
Yeah. I'm
At
sure a
least
lot
not
of
the
it was
basic
controversial
fact.
at the time. Yeah.
Well, I mean, there was multiple wars about it, so it seems
Yeah.
like it was a problem.
Yeah. Cool. So go to library websites,
Yep,
find citations within
yep. Inter
articles.
oh, Internet Archive. Use the
Oh
Internet
yeah.
Archive.
Yeah.
And their open library also.
Hmm.
You can sign up for a library card, and a lot of the books are free for you to check out.
Nice. Yeah, and I'm assuming like books are generally pretty good too.
Books are generally pretty good. Check the date.
Hmm.
Um, some books, some books are were better or were cutting edge at the time. We'll go with
Yeah,
that.
for sure.
A lot of the archaeology around like Greece
Hmm.
and Rome is kind of initial like the really, really old stuff is a
Hmm.
little sketch. But
Gotcha.
take it with a grain of salt. If anything sounds fishy, hunt it down.
Hmm.
Research, um, especially if you're just like looking for information or if you're not sure what you're gonna do, is really just chasing down loose ends.
Hmm.
Um, you're a detective, but you're never going to find a smoking gun, but you might
Yeah.
find some bullet casings,
Hmm.
You might find a half of a fingerprint.
Hmm.
And it's putting those together that makes for a good, compelling research argument.
Hmm. Yeah. Cool. Are there any sources that you would avoid?
Um, Again, like anybody who doesn't cite their sources,
Yeah.
literally, as soon as like if you don't mention where you read this or where this came from,
Hmm.
immediately suspect. I'm like, so who are you?
Yeah. Just pull information out of
Yeah,
nowhere.
and sometimes, sometimes that happens, and you go and look at the author, and the author is like, oh yeah, the leader in the field of blah. And you're like, oh, you are the source at this point.
Yeah.
At that point they've published other things that you can go hunt
Hmm.
down, right?
Yeah, that's legit.
Um, like you can go double check their work. And
Hmm.
the other stuff that they've written down probably has citations.
Yep.
Um, I would say sources that I would avoid. Don't, okay, this is of for most SCA research, saying that so and so did it that way is
Hmm.
not a good source. Cite a person that you like that taught you how to do this.
Yeah.
You can say, I learned this from blah. Here's
Hmm.
what I found in my research.
Gotcha.
Uh, like you can give them credit for teaching you,
Hmm.
right? But they are not the be all end all of sources.
Yeah.
Um, Especially for garment construction, because
Hmm.
a lot of people use different methods to get to the same place.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean anyone's method is correct.
For sure.
It's
Yeah. So,
probably a combination.
yeah. So
Um,
generally, you just want to try to use research that has like evidence supporting it, just like any other
yeah,
like
exactly.
science, like
Like
yeah,
science. It's like a
like
science.
science.
I mean, it is arts and
Yeah.
sciences.
I
It's just
mean,
the
I
science is
think
different.
archaeology is considered science, right?
Yes.
I'd assume so.
It's
I
it's
don't
like
know a lot about
it's in
archaeology,
there with
but
like it's science, but it's also in there with like sociology and
yeah.
anthropology, where there's like science aspects to it, but also not science aspects to it.
Yeah, for sure. But
It's
in terms of the research, it's
yeah,
relatively similar to like doing science research if you want
yes.
evidence supporting
Document what you
what you're
do.
doing. Yeah.
Oh, that document what you do. Yes, write down notes. So I'm gonna be an evangelist for my favorite research tool ever,
hmm
which is Zotero. It's a citation manager. It's
Yeah.
free to
I
use.
used that in college. Yep.
It is great. I love
hmm
it. They give you a limited amount of space so you can actually like attach articles and stuff to it.
Nice.
I wouldn't recommend using it because you do run out of space and then you lose the functionality and you're sad.
Yep.
Um, you can pay for more space. I have
If
not
you're in
chosen to do.
college, you can probably have an account for free that'll give you more space.
You
But
actually, yeah, if you're in
my
college, you
my
can get the
college
other
at
one for
least,
free.
yeah. You use those
The
college resources if you're in
Yeah,
college,
right.
is
If
my
you
my pro tip.
That's very true. However, like just base level Zotero, free.
hmm
And you get a decent amount of space, it's actually pretty awesome. You can also, one of the functionalities they added was you can write notes and attach it to specific citations, which is great. So I use that I throw in quotations and I add like a page number and just like throw in different things in there that I want to quote
hmm
later. Or an idea that popped into my head, like, hey, that seems weird. I should check out this guy. And those notes help me remember what
hmm
I've read. My Zotero is an absolute disaster, um, in the best way.
Yeah.
Um, um, it is a disaster in, okay, cats. Um, it's it's great.
Nice.
But it has my work research, it has my
Oh
SCA
yeah, all the
research, it has
research.
grad school stuff, it's got
Oh
everything
no.
on there. It's got stuff that I like, things that I started to research and then decided, oh, let's not do that. Um, Also, it's always okay to say, you know what, that was a nice idea for a research project. I should not be the person doing this research because I don't have the
That's legit.
skills, the time. I don't read the language particularly well.
hmm
Like, sometimes you just gotta say, yeah, that was cool. It doesn't ha I don't have to be the one to write it. I don't
hmm
have to be the one to do this. You learn a little bit, but
Yeah.
yeah, I had a cool research project, but I don't read medieval Hebrew or
Yeah.
Arabic
Yeah. Yeah, I think some
or
topics are
Spanish.
probably going to be harder to research than others to
Yeah,
pursue.
that was like a cool idea because I was
Yeah.
looking at like the Jewish diaspora after like the ejection of Jewish populations from Spain, England, and France, which happened twice in France within like 20 years of each other. So I'm always a little like, so why did you come back?
Yeah.
Um, you know, um, People have their reasons, but
hmm
yeah, it's cool.
Nice. Yeah, it's kind of like trying to solve a puzzle, but sometimes the pieces are missing.
Yeah, like really like what I found out in that research was I could figure out the corners and like
hmm
some of the edges, but I didn't have enough pieces to be able
Yeah.
to put my corners together or even fill in the center.
hmm
Somebody else will
Yeah.
someday.
hmm
It's not going to be me. Um, but
Yeah.
I learned a thing. Um, so that's always fun.
Nice. Yeah, it's just about finding which puzzles you can find the pieces to and then kind of putting them
Yeah.
together. Yeah.
And I mean, you never know when you might use that
hmm
information another
Yeah,
time.
having more knowledge is generally good.
No. Oh no, I learned
The
things.
horror, I know more about history.
I joined an educational organization. I learned a thing.
Oh, gosh. Yeah, and then the kind of last like question I had is about the format of how we're kind of writing this research because
Okay.
some people have like done college, written papers for that,
Oh, yeah.
different for every major. What's kind of the general format for like SCA research?
So I think this works pretty much generally, which is um, research or how you write a paper is basically say what you're going to do, say what you're going to do in the first little bit,
Hmm.
do it, say what you did, like at the end and just sum
Yeah.
up.
Okay.
Um, like for SEA research, especially since most people do objects or like a specific poem
Hmm.
or a specific thing, you know, say, I made this thing. It is based off of this time period. It uses this technique, if you've got like a broad technique that you're
Hmm.
using. And oh, I'm going to pick on your hood again. Um, it uses this kind of trim and
Hmm.
this kind of, I used this weaving trim and it's from this time period and from approximately this place, this
Hmm.
approximate location and approximate time, right? And that's your first thing, blah. And here I will, and then I will describe fabric choices, trim choices, all of that.
Hmm.
And then you go on and you say, ha, I am now going to describe my fabric choices. And then I'm going to describe my trim choices. And then I'm going to describe how I constructed it. And at the end, you go, this hood from blah is was an interesting project because blah, 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 blah,
Hmm.
blah. And say what you said. You just sum it all up. That's generally how I try to do it.
Hmm.
Once you get into longer and longer stuff, it's more
Yeah.
complicated. But it is basically like, hey, here's my background. Another way, another really good organization principle besides, just say what you're going to say and then say it is say what you're going to say, do kind of your background stuff first up
Hmm.
front load the background stuff, then do the process, and then loop back to the background stuff for your conclusion
Hmm.
and
Gotcha.
kind of tie it all together and turn it into a nice little package.
Hmm.
Um, it is ultimately the same structure. It's just about like where do you put that
Yeah.
background information?
Hmm.
Some people want to front load it for
Hmm.
sometimes that's going to work better than others. And sometimes you're going to want to just sprinkle it in.
Hmm.
Sometimes it makes sense to sprinkle it in.
Yeah.
Um, yeah,
Yeah,
those
because
are
we don't.
two really effective ways to do it.
Gotcha. Because there's not like a specific standard for like how to write an SCA research
Hmm,
thing, is there?
no. The only thing I think that generally you'll see asked for is it doesn't matter what citation format you use, you just need to
Hmm.
be consistent across the whole
Gotcha.
paper
Hmm.
and make sure that people can find it again.
Yeah. So choose a citation format to
Use a
use and then
citation
stick with that
format,
one.
stick with it,
Yeah.
make sure it's consistent. Don't
Gotcha.
go all over the place. Pick one, stick with it. I like
Yeah.
Chicago. You
Hmm.
do you.
Yeah,
Um,
I always use the APA ones because
APA
I had
is
to do
pretty
for
good too.
college. Yeah, I used
I'm
like a
not gonna,
citation generator my whole college
I
career.
do love APA.
Yeah.
I'm not against APA. I'm using a lot of Chicago right now.
Yeah, that's fair.
For those of you out of the loop, those are different kinds of citation formats.
Yes, there's a
Uh,
bunch.
yeah, there's a
Those.
Medical Library Association
Yep.
one is actually, or medical or Modern Language Association, and then there's the
Yep.
Medical Library
MLA.
Association
Yeah.
one. There's two of MLAs.
Oh.
One is medical.
Yeah.
So if you're talking about medical stuff, yeah,
Hmm.
sure, why not? Uh,
Nice.
yeah, if you're talking about medical stuff or you need to talk about medical stuff, um,
Hmm.
there's a format for you.
Fair enough.
Um, what's really cool about Zotero is that it will create that bibliography for you.
Nice. Hmm.
It also will attach to most kinds of like word processing things,
Hmm.
software. So use LibreOffice on this computer. It comes free with LibreOffice, which is also free to use.
Hmm.
It can attach to Word, great. And because it has an online component, you can sync across multiple computers with the same citations
Nice.
until you break it.
Till it broke it.
Don't, I'm just saying, if you don't know what you're doing, don't try to update Zotero, or don't try to update LibreOffice separate from Zotero or
Oh,
separate from LibreOffice, because then you end up with problems.
yeah, that would do it.
So that's my current woe.
That's legit. Yeah, and in terms of citations, there's a bunch of different sources out there to help you
Oh yeah.
like write citations. I know my professors, it was like the Purdue Writing Lab or something, I
Yeah, they
think,
have
that
a
they
really
always
good
said to
one.
use.
Yeah, they have a really good one. Turabian
Hmm.
is generally really popular. Like you don't, honestly, the biggest thing is just make sure that people know when you're citing something,
Hmm.
um, and know what the full source and can find the
Yeah.
full source in your bibliography.
Hmm.
That's the biggest thing.
Hmm.
You can use footnotes, you can use endnotes. I mean, you're wrong if you use endnotes, but that's a personal preference, I
Yeah.
suppose. Um, I, I get into arguments with people about this a lot. You know, you can use inline citations, which is author's last name, date,
Yep.
and then like a page number. Whatever works for you. I am I'm not going to judge. Well, okay, if you use endnotes, I'm going to judge a little bit, but it's not going to affect your score. I'm just going to side eye you. Um, I have I
Avoid the side
I have a bit of
eye.
I have a strong hate for an end note.
It's funny.
Um, but yeah, as long as you can find it, as long as
Gotcha.
the judges can find it, as long as people know where to find where you got your information, that's great.
Yeah. Cool.
Um, yeah, that's really it. And again, like organization really depends on the project, and it
Yeah.
kind of depends on like what exactly you really went in deep on. Um, some people really go in deep on like the history of like the context of this item,
Hmm.
which is cool. You should front load that. Um,
Yeah.
if you're talking about context, front load it.
Yeah.
Maybe not as great to sprinkle that one in. If
Hmm.
you're talking about specifics like dyes and trim patterns and
Hmm.
weaving techniques, like that's something you can sprinkle in.
Yeah.
But it really depends on your personal interest and what
Hmm.
fits the project best.
Gotcha.
I hate when people tell me this. It's like, oh, well, it depends. Because, but also it depends.
It does depend. And we also do like verbal documentation as well for if you don't have
Yes.
it like all in like what you write
Yeah,
too.
we 100% accept verbal documentation in North Shield.
Hmm.
If you just if your judge asks you a question about something you didn't put in your paper, you can talk to them about it and
Hmm.
just be like, yeah, I didn't think it fit really well in the paper, but here's
Yeah.
what I learned. Because sometimes there's information that you get that you're just like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
No idea where that information belongs. That
Yeah. And also,
information,
hmm part of making it not like 50 pages long for everything
yeah, sometimes you do
you know.
just have to edit.
Yeah.
Some things don't make it, but your judges are there to I've always thought the judges are there for you to show off. Show
Yeah.
off. Show what
Hmm.
you know. We want to
Yeah.
find out.
Yeah, which is like the whole
Get
reason
you
it's like a
excited.
judging session and not just like you put a paper next to your project and then they just
Yeah, like think of it like the world's think of it like the geekiest show and tell.
it's kind of like a science fair actually.
Kind of like a science fair. Um, and like you'll talk to tons of people. It's very fun.
Hmm.
And again, you just get to geek out at people for a solid 45 minutes and they don't leave.
You can't leave.
I mean, they can leave, but they don't because they're nice.
Yeah. It'd be rude of them to leave.
Yeah, they're volunteering to do a job. And
Yeah.
also, if you're scared, you can always volunteer to judge.
Yeah, for
Judging,
sure.
we have rubrics for everything from um, physical created objects to performance art, food, research. all manner of physical objects fall under basically one big banner because, oh no, what did my computer do? Oh, there we go.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, we have rubrics for literally any kind of artwork you can do. We've got performance arts, we've got research, we've got physical objects, we have a food one. Um, Really, whatever you want to research, we are
Mhm.
here for you to
Oh.
do. And if you're concerned about what rubric you'd fall under, or you can't find the rubric that you need, you can always contact me or the Kingdom A&S minister, or really, there's a ton of us who will be
Yeah.
happy to help
And
you come
people want
along.
to help you too. So like,
We want to
if you're
help
looking for
people.
help with anything, just reach out to people. Ask for
Yeah.
help if you need help.
And also, like, if you're like, I've got an idea, I think it's kind of dumb, throw it
Mhm.
at somebody who you
Yeah.
trust to tell you something, to like give you that
Yeah,
information.
for
And
sure.
they might go like, maybe.
Yeah,
I
and along a similar lines, how do you generally like choose which A&S project you want to do like for a competition?
oh God,
It's
that
kind of a
that
tough
informs.
question there.
So some people, you know what I said, some people, not me, are very focused on like a specific project that they're working on, a specific thing that they want to do, and they do it, and they do all of the things, and they're great, and it's wonderful. I am frequently slightly more haphazard in my decision-making process. Um, I've entered things that I'm like, I'm not going to win, but I would really like, I've worked hard on this and somebody
Yeah.
should see it. So gosh darn it, I'm going to enter. It's worked out okay.
hmm
Um, Sometimes it's okay to just be like, hey, I made this thing. I
hmm
wrote a paper for it. It doesn't have to be perfect. You don't have to decide right now what you're going to do for Kingdom A&S next year.
hmm But
I
if you
am
want to, you can.
If you want to, and you're one of those people who likes to work well in advance,
Yeah.
you should do what fills your heart with joy.
Mhm.
Just if it's an over 10-page paper, we do need that like a week or two
Yeah.
in advance.
Give them time to read
Um,
it.
oh, I am the word. I am not good at
Your
not writing last
50-page
minute.
paper.
Yeah, I'm the last minute writer. But like I think a couple of years ago, I entered a preliminary scoping project for a larger
Nice.
project I worked on. I then started to actually work on because I had started the project, went, oh no. And I was like, all right, what exactly am I doing? Um, and I was like, this project really isn't ready for prime time. The big project isn't.
hmm
But I've got a part of a project. Look, the piece is kind of cool.
hmm
This little piece is kind of cool. We'll talk about this, and then I'll say, hey, I've got more things to do. You can always say at the end of in your research paper or at the end of your judging session, like, I plan on expanding this later.
Yeah.
Um, because that's the way research is. It's iterative. We build
hmm
on each other and we build on our own work.
Yeah.
So the research project, the thing that you enter for your first A&S competition won't be the thing that you enter in a year for,
hmm
another year or a year after or like 10 years. It's going to be something completely different and it might build off of the same stuff, but it won't look anything like the
Yeah.
same.
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
So can be basically kind of like whatever level you're at, you
Yeah.
can kind of put in and you can hear people's feedback on it. And then,
Yeah.
yeah,
And that's really valuable. Research is kind of lonely sometimes.
yeah, yeah,
Sometimes you're just by yourself reading stuff and it's like, I need to tell someone about this.
for
And
sure.
you can do it in Kingdom A&S or you can do it in Kingdom A&S and also just all over the place and yell about it,
hmm Yeah.
which is
Yeah, because
something
I
I
know
do.
we had a lot of displays this past King of A&S, but not as
Yeah.
many entries. So,
I think people get too caught up with the
yeah,
finished
yeah, for
product.
sure. Again, kind of
Don't
why
have to be
we're
finished.
making these videos so people get
I
less
know it's
scared.
kind of long, sorry.
So do the research, have fun with it. It doesn't need to be the biggest scoping
Yeah.
project all
No,
the time. It can
you
be,
don't even have to be finished.
yeah. Yeah, and it's really just about like hearing feedback and sharing it with
Yeah.
people when you put it in a competition. Even though
Think of
it's
it.
like a competition, some people are
Yeah.
going to like try to win, I'm sure. I'm
Oh,
very
there's always people who
competitive.
try to win. I
I'm very
am
competitive, so I'm planning on doing Kingdom A&S next year and I'm gonna go hardcore. But that's
okay.
just because I want to
I
beat
look
Claire.
forward to it.
Me and
Um,
Claire are doing a competition and I really want to beat her. And it's gonna be
okay.
tough because she has an art degree.
I mean, that's part of the battle. That's not all the battle.
I think if I'm gonna win, I'm gonna win on research
All
because
right.
she does not want to do a lot of research. So,
That's possible. Um, yeah, the biggest thing is like cite your
oh,
sources, find citations.
I have one more. Is there like a minimum amount of sources that you're kind of looking for? Like how many sources should I have? Like if I'm making like a hood, how many sources would you say I should have for like a hood or like any like small project?
As many as
I
you
know there could
need.
be,
I
yeah.
would say
Is there like a minimum though that you would
a minimum,
suggest?
I would say more than two.
Okay.
The two and one of them, and they can't both be from Wikipedia and they can't both be
hmm
blogs.
Okay.
Okay? Find a find something else.
Yeah.
Um, if you can hunt down the archaeological records for it,
Yeah, like primary sources
so
I would
cool. Primary sources,
figure would be
great.
the best. Like if there is like an extant example of what you're
Yeah.
making.
And like we keep finding more extant examples of stuff for more northern climes
hmm
as global warming happens, which
Yeah.
is good. um,
Um,
yeah. But yeah, I would say minimum is two. Try to have at least one of them be a primary source.
okay.
Especially if it's your first A&S competition. Primary sources are great.
And could you
Try to
describe
find
like
them.
primary and secondary
Okay.
sources for anyone who
Yeah.
may not know?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. A primary source is a document that was created at the time. So at the time as of which something was written or created, which means that like a physical um if you are doing I'm going to pick shoes because we find
hmm
shoes. We find a lot of shoes. If you are doing a research project on how to make medieval shoes, you should look at a medieval shoe. You should link to the museum object of the medieval shoe that you're making. That is your primary source. Your primary source is that shoe. You can have other kinds of primary sources, like things like images. So for a lot of clothing, because not a lot survives, we use images from the time period.
hmm
Illuminations are great unless they've got a halo, in which case, grain of salt. Um, I think he's got a whole thing on halos. It's great.
Oh yeah.
Um, you know, the um, it's the stuff that was made at the time, describing the stuff at the time. So that means it can be anything from just written words like wills and testaments. It can be uh, it can be a physical object, it can be an image. As long as it's from that time period, it's
hmm
considered a primary source. The further away you get from it, then it becomes a secondary source, which means that the secondary source is writing about the primary source,
hmm
essentially, or writing about things around the primary source. They weren't there,
Yeah.
but they're writing about it.
Yep.
So
Perfect.
that's
Thank you.
usually how it works in the SCA.
Yeah.
Um, when you get into modern times, then we get into newspapers and what how
Yeah, all that stuff.
that's a different topic.
Well, great. Thanks for doing with this with me. I think
Yeah,
that
you're welcome.
covers
Covers a
all the
lot.
questions that I had. If you
That's
have
more than a
any more,
mini skirt's worth of content.
yeah, if you have any more questions about research, please do not ask me. You can leave it in the comments, and I will send it to someone else. I will probably
Yep,
ask Sibillia to answer the
probably.
question. Do
I
not
am
ask me about
on
research.
I am on YouTube. I don't have a lot of research stuff on YouTube.
Yes, but
Um,
if you do have any questions, please feel free to leave them in the comments, and I will have not me answer those questions. And then if you like this video and want more kind of this style, like the Laurel lessons, also please let me know. And if you are a Laurel and have a lesson that you want to teach, let me know and we can do that. Perfect. All right. Well, thank you for watching. Bye bye.